It's the Wow Show, Women on Women. I'm Shazmin Shamsuddin.
I'm Joanne Campopo.
And I'm Ningbai Zura.
Whether it's divorce, polygamy, or death, life can change overnight. And for a lot of women, we're left asking, what happens to me? What happens to my children?
Yeah.
Where does that leave me legally? What are my rights? And someone who has front row seats to a lot of these dramas is lawyer as well as community organizer Nurainie Haziqah.
Thank you so much.
Yes, Nurainie is my divorce lawyer. Getting that out there. So she knows her stuff and she knows how to fight for women and to also educate us on our legal rights. And also Nurainie is very well known in the NGO space as an advisor, an educator, and a pro bono lawyer as well, right?
Yes.
Thank you so much
for having me.
Coming, yes.
Lovely. This is an interesting topic because I have a lot of friends, girlfriends who are going through this, but they are sort of like, they don't want to talk about it, they delay the conversations or even delay the whole situation.
Do they even
don't want
know?
to deal with it.
Do they even
They
know?
know they want to get out, but they don't even want to talk about it. So why do you think many women do that?
I think the number one important thing to actually address is actually the fact that women are so scared to talk about it because they do not want to get judged. Especially dealing with like women who are in divorce stage or that one, of course, and more of those who are in the domestic abuse situation. So they are, number one, of course, the thing is that they don't want to be judged. They don't want like this, all these things to go out there, publicly known, to talk even about like asset management, like what more of that? So it's something very, very pertinent to understand on why women doesn't want to talk about it. It's actually because they do not want people to know what's exactly behind closed doors.
So it's peer pressure from the people.
Could
as
it
well,
also be, I know that women don't want to talk about it. We're still living in a Asian mentality and situation. Could it also be they're not educated in that field? So for them as well, when you're dealing with wanting to get out of a situation, whether or not it's an unhappy marriage or abused marriage, could it also be fear of not knowing what's next?
I think it depends on the situation, all right? Certain women or families would have different priority, all right? So if let's say the priority is actually on the children, for example, so they would go and address that issue first. Unlike those who actually have straight away to the issue of asset management. So it depends on the priority of like the family and the women itself. So that's number one. I think number two also, it includes also the fact that some women actually do not know what are their rights.
Yeah, rights.
Yeah.
That's
Right?
what I'm
They do not
saying.
know. Like, I didn't know about this.
Like my
I
mom,
thought
she's
that.
clueless. I can
Exactly.
so understand
So
that.
especially when it comes to asset management as well, and I'm sure there's a lot of what is the wrong assumptions about making sure that you are protected.
Okay, a lot of like women when they come to us actually they thought that when we talk about like asset management, when we talk about like all these system and procedures, they thought that you can only talk about it upon the death of their partner or like upon the divorce. They do not know, especially for Muslim women, they do not know like when they go into polygamous marriages, for example, they can actually have their rights on the table. They can actually conclude their rights on the table.
Okay, so let me try and understand it from a Chinese perspective.
Can.
Because Chinese know polygamy, kan? All monotonous for now, and then after that, when he dies, you find 3 other mistresses, one in Penang, one in JB, one in Melaka. They keep them separate by state, senang, kan? So when, let's just say, when a Muslim husband and wife, and when the husband wants to take on a second wife, or even a second, third, or fourth wife, you as the first wife can actually look out and seek advice on managing all this.
Correct.
Before
the polygamy happened.
Oh,
Yeah, you
so
can
when
actually
it's
do it before the
intention as
polygamy
well.
happened.
I know.
Because remember, the thing is that in Malaysia, in every state in Malaysia, when they want to have the polygamous marriage, they have to file and get a leave from court. You cannot simply do it because you can get like the penalty or whatever.
So, okay.
you need to get like the leave from the court It's like a sort of like a kebenaran from the court.
Permission lah.
Yes, permission from the court before you get into the second marriage.
Oh, that's
Alright?
not what my dad did.
So they actually do it. That's what happened to those who actually go to Thailand, whatever. But they still, when they come back to Malaysia, when they want to register the second marriage, they still need the permission. All right.
So they can get married wherever they are first, but when they want to register, then
they still have to register and get the permission.
So do you need then to apply for your, I guess, for your rights as the first wife and for your children before it happens?
Okay.
What if it already happened? Then how?
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so there's two ways. Okay, number one, when they are doing the application for the permission to happen, all right, you can file straight away your application for the asset management. All right, harta sepencarian. All right. If let's say you found out, because there's so many cases like that where you found out after the marriage happened, you can still file it to court. So there's two ways. No issue on that, especially for the Muslim marriages, because polygamous marriages happen all the time. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So what happens, Aini, if your husband passes away? What legally happens to his assets with and without a will?
All right.
This is interesting. I'm interested to know as well.
Okay, so let's be very focused on, like, if let's say your husband passed away tomorrow, for example, right? And then what happened? What can you do? Number one, the asset management can happen if for a Muslim. They can actually happen via faraid. All right, but also if let's say the husband passed away with a will, then you can execute the will, file it to court, execute the will. This happened for both civil and also Sharia. All right. But if let's say he passes without a will, all right, then you still can go to court and do the distribution order. But this is when actually all this drama happen. Because there's no will, there's nothing that binds like the family, and then suddenly if you have like for Muslim, you have 4 children, four daughters, for example, then the uncle will come in and whatnot. There's quite a mess there, right?
Yeah.
But of course, even sometimes, without a will, all right, they still will file it and file it in court. That can happen. No problem with that. But my advice is that, I think this is the number one thing that I always tell my clients. The good thing is that have the conversation before the death.
Yes.
Like, sometimes you just like have a hangout with your husband and say that,
while you're happy still.
Can we talk about something?
I talked about it.
I have
but we
to
never
say that it's
proceeded.
correct.
Bila kau mampus nanti, tolonglah ada will.
Tapi kalau you cover sikit, you tak lah anak
every
you.
time my husband flies away, we always talk about it.
That's great. That's great.
So we need to do it.
Exactly. I mean, to be very, very honest, and let's treat it very, very fairly for our children. This is a very important question and very important conversation that must happen.
It is an important, but it's not an easy conversation.
No, it's
Yes.
not.
If you have a very cooperative husband, when you talk to them, they would like, but like, man, sometimes if you don't talk about it, you're not straightforward to them on what it is, they would, I didn't know about this. Right. But if let's say you see, I would tell my husband, I once used to tell my husband that, a friend of mine passed away, like suddenly the husband got into an accident, passed away. So I told him that I don't want that. I mean, of course, we don't want that to happen. But if that happens, what happened to the children? I mean, I don't think I can like afford with caring for 3 children just by myself. So let's talk about it now. I mean, the asset management can happen before your pass. Okay, number 1. Number 2, there's also options of hibah.
Yes.
What is hibah?
Okay, so hibah is actually an Arabic word. Okay, but the English word is gift. 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 It's like you giving somebody something. Right? So general rule in hibah is that you're gifting, right? You don't, general rule is that you want to give somebody, you give like, I want to give you a watch, you give it right now. But, and the system that we have right now, we have that general rule, but also exception to such general rule whereby when you gift, you can also have conditional hibah. Like you only execute it upon the death of the person.
So, for example, if I wanted to hibah my house to my son, and I said, okay, this is conditional, you can only get it once I'm in the grave.
Okay.
That's what you're saying, right?
So
you cannot take it now and then throw me out on the street.
That happens, so be careful.
It happens,
So I just want to say that usually what we do is that we prepare the instrument right now. So the agreement is happening right now. So your husband will go to a lawyer, okay, write on the hibah instrument, just like the agreement, yada yada yada, A B C D E, on whatever asset that he has. This is to be gifted, whatever to my wife, my kids, and whatever. And then upon his death, okay, you'll be bringing that agreement. You of course endorse it in court. You'll be bringing that document to court to execute it for the transfer of the assets. So that can happen.
So you would advise that hibah is pretty much safer to go, to do it for like women like.
Okay, let's be very frank. I got a lot of like actually women who actually come and say that I need the reason why I want hibah is because I do not have such good relationship with like my other family members who are also the beneficiaries. All right, not in-law, other beneficiaries.
Okay. Like
so what do I do?
Step brothers, really?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, they have such. I mean, that's normal in a situation. So then what do I do? So I suggest to them like, why not you do hibah? Right, have the instrument right now. But it's just that hibah, of course, can be contested as well by these beneficiaries. But of course, it's when I say it's contested, it can also be when it can be challenged in court. It can be contested where you can actually fight it in court as well. But technically, all I can say is that have either will or hibah. Write it down. That's the most important
have a will
thing.
and have a hibah.
Yep, either one.
Okay.
Are wills a thing in the Sharia landscape?
Yes. So there's so many actually Islamic trustee companies who actually does all this will writing, or even you can go to lawyers to do all this will writing. Will it? You pen it down, write it whatever that you want to put in the instrument. Number one. If let's say after 10 years tak mati lagi, okay, you haven't passed on.
Inshallah.
And you have new assets coming in. Talking about the new assets coming in.
Yes.
Update it. So you still can update the will. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, very interesting.
But it's very important actually to know that all this must be penned down.
Yep.
That's right.
Because there's so many actually come to us and say, oh, he said to me last time, this is the conversation. No, he said, I remember this meeting. He said to me like,
in an ideal situation, women should get educated in all these different types of, how would I say, these are all in front of them. They just need to know where to go, where to get information. Okay, what happens when all this is not done? How does the drama happen then? When the husband, let's say, does not have the will or did not have enough time to do the will, or and
then have children from the past, which is different.
How does the assets and everything else be distributed?
Okay.
Especially if the family does not have a male son.
Okay, so basically we already have such system. For civil marriages, for non-Muslim, they have we will actually go to court, okay, and file for letter of administration. You have your own administrator for the asset, and then you will file for distribution, where you talk to your families on how you want to distribute it. Rumah, this house goes to who, this money goes to who. Liabilities, don't forget, everyone talks about assets, then they all forget about liabilities that happen. Credit cards and whatnot. Okay, that's one. Okay, even Muslim can actually go to court and do such application as well. But for Muslim, we also have faraid. All right, whereby you will distribute it based on what has been stipulated in the Quran. Okay, so there's such ways that can happen. But it's just that, as I said earlier, there are no perfect family. There are no perfect relationship where all sometimes when it comes to money, when it comes to asset, they will fight. People will be challenged. Suddenly this person comes in. You have not met him for like 20, 30 years. Suddenly when it comes to money, even 20 ringgit, I always tell this, even 20 ringgit on the table, they will fight it.
It's always about the money.
Exactly.
And the land.
Right.
Exactly.
And what they
we do have such system. We do have such regulations and law. Right? It's either how do we make sure that everyone abides by it.
So let me understand this correctly from, of course, a non-Muslim perspective. If all that is not taken care of, a family member outside of the actual family that is grieving can actually come in and contest?
Usually it's only for the beneficiaries to come in and contest or challenge it.
What would be the basis for the contest?
on the cases that I sometimes deal with, usually when they come to court with a will, for example, and then somebody who is considered as beneficiary, their name is not in the will, for example, they can come and challenge it. All right. But of course, when there is a will, the court has to execute it based on the will.
If there is no will,
If there is no will, as I said earlier, there is such a distribution order act, okay, where the court will base it on the order, all right. Sometimes we will have to follow what is agreed upon by all beneficiaries, all right.
if it's not agreed upon, this kind of
That's-
things,
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
it's not going to be a sole agreement.
It will either be they will find it in court and the court will order it, all right, or sometimes if they can't, they will prolong it and they will make it longer, just to be in court and fight it all the time.
Which
That's
goes
when-
to my next question. How are matrimonial assets divided? Please, just because I don't even know. I heard it's the first son, and then the daughter, and then the first wife, and then please tell us.
All right, so for matrimonial assets, actually it depends. Some matrimonial assets can also be distributed via hibah and will, as I mentioned earlier, okay? If, let's say, there is such instrument, all right? But if, let's say, a person or the husband dies without such instrument, all right, without the hibah or the will, it will still go to either faraid or the distribution order. Alright, distribution order is for the civil marriage and also faraid is for Muslim marriages. Alright, but if in such cases, different law would have different set of beneficiaries. For example, in a Muslim marriage, alright, they will have like the wife. Okay, if like the husband's parents are still alive, they will be in the beneficiary list. Of course, the children. If, let's say, the family only have all daughters, all right, the uncle will have, the brother of like the deceased will have rights in the asset.
So that's when the
That's when
contest
all this
things
drama
come
comes
in.
in.
Yeah.
So always make sure that you understand who are these list of beneficiaries.
Okay.
Suddenly you don't know this uncle from, I don't know,
Mana?
from whatever country,
Yeah.
tiba-tiba datang, I'm the uncle.
Or even if they're not Muslim?
Okay.
That's another good question because my husband is
Okay,
Yeah.
that one cannot.
cannot.
Because they're non-Muslim. Alright, okay. But for non-Muslim, there is a act called distribution order, as I mentioned earlier, whereby you will file it to court. Either you distribute it based on your willingness and agreement between each other of all these beneficiaries, or the court will order it based on whatever you will file it in court. Alright, based on your affidavits and whatnot. But who are like the beneficiaries? Of course, as I said, it's more or less the same as like Muslim, but they do not extend so much to
Correct.
like outside. Like it's like much more on like the
intermediate family.
intermediate, not so extended.
Because when it comes to Muslim, like I understand there's also outside factors that.
But okay, let's
can
be
come
very
in.
frank over here. So many people say, "Oh, I have the rights and whatnot and whatnot," but a lot of them forget, okay, that with rights come responsibilities. This is what most of them forget. The thing is that the grandfather, the grandmother has such right, the uncle has right, but they forget that in Islam and in fact in any law, it comes with responsibilities. You just don't get the money easily like that and forget about like how to raise up like the children if like they minors and whatnot.
But that's for the husband. What about the wife? Because he's a mu'alaf, right? So he married me. So I would like to make sure that my distribution is right too. So how do I go about, but without any interference from other family members? Because what if I go first? Joy. But, I want my son to get something, my husband and my mother.
Hibah.
And make
Senang
sure that
cerita.
if
So
let's
both
say,
ways lah.
Correct. So it doesn't only happen for the husband,
Yeah.
but you can also. But one thing for sure that always like tell my clients is that don't talk about asset management when it's very last minute.
Yeah.
This is what I tell my parents as well. It's not that I wanted you to die now. I really love both of you, but let's have your list right now. I don't even know where are your tanah or whatever. Come on, just like list it down and let's see. Oh, okay, this is what it is. Because upon the death of like the deceased, you see, you baru nak struggle and find all these assets and whatnot. that's going to be difficult. And then when you come to lawyers, all lawyers will ask for grant this, grant that,
Semua
this
tak tahu
document,
mana.
and what you don't even know where it is.
True.
Yeah.
So this conversation is always a taboo conversation because people do not want to talk about it. They feel like, oh, I'm not dying yet. Like, why are you asking all this from me?
It's very Asian to like. I do not want to talk about death.
Yeah.
But
it's
it's
very
necessary.
But we have to prepare.
Honestly,
Necessary.
it's something I think about all the time. And as a single mom, I have 2 kids, and I no longer have a father or a brother or a mother. So hopefully, my uncles and cousins will contest anything that I have to give to my children. Your advice would also be to have hibah for that, or someone like me should consider a will, just to protect the assets.
Actually, it's okay to have either both, either one, all right? Okay, because at the end of the day, it's the dynamics of the family is also important. Sometimes I cannot advise client per se or like only one thing at a time, because sometimes it depends on the dynamic of the family and how the family works. That is the most important thing. So for you, for example, it will depend on the whole family situation. Like, are they okay if, let's say, you are going to gift hibah certain of your asset to like your kids, for example, and leave some of it for your parents or whatever, for example, but some of them know, I think like let's execute it upon your death. You know your family better, so that's sometimes how you usually manage the assets, depending on the dynamic of the family as well.
Is it true that with faraid, if we have to go down that route, that the wife actually gets a lot less than should the deceased husband actually hibah her everything or will everything to her?
For wife, usually under faraid, they will get like a portion of like 1/6, if I'm mistaken. 1/6. Okay. If it's hibah, it's directly on what the husband or like the deceased want to gift to you. For example, I'm gifting 3 of my houses with like 3 of my cars to my wife. Okay, and it's actually more than 1/6 of like what you're supposed to get out of like the whole
But have to
asset.
be specific. That's
Yeah.
what you're saying.
Hibah must be very specific.
But so hibah will of course outrank the will then, so to speak.
No, if let's say you have a hibah, all right, you can execute the hibah first. All right, so it depends. So that's why I said having this conversation is a very it's not an easy conversation, I believe, all right, to many of like the family, but choose your battle.
But
all
the
right?
hibah, insurance hibah is different from the we were talking about that. Please
Correct.
explain to them
So
from the courts.
hibah takaful, the one that is under insurance, usually the one that you pay every month, for example, or you pay lump sum, whatever, and then upon death you will straight away get that money. But this hibah is on the asset that is already there.
Okay.
You must have that asset. You must own such asset. All right, you must own the property. You must own the bank account.
So this is through the Sharia
In fact, in Sharia, there's also contemplation whether assets that are under mortgage can be hibah, because technically it's not under you, it's
Your
under the
name.
bank, right? Mortgage. All right.
Okay.
But then there are circumstances where even those that are under mortgage can still be hibah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes,
wow,
yes.
I got a lot of homework to do.
Definitely. It's very eye-opening, right?
Yes, it
Yes.
is.
Okay, can we move on to divorce or
Yes,
polygamy?
yes.
So what are the legal protections that women have during a divorce, financially and in terms of property?
Can I add on some more? Because we always hear about this harta, sepencarian. They're always fighting on social media. Tell us about that too.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Upon like divorce, right? Okay. So there's a lot. Okay. Especially for like Muslim and even non-Muslim couples. All right. So when you got into divorce, the first thing that you have to look is whether you have children or not. All right. When you have children, you must think about their maintenance first. All right. So maintenance of your children. Your maintenance, if let's say there is any accrued maintenance during the marriage, you can ask for it back. Alright, you file it and ask for it back, okay? And then you will ask for, if let's say for the Muslim, you can ask for the iddah maintenance during the 3 months of the tempo iddah. Alright, and then you will ask for harta sepencarian. So this is harta sepencarian is not just asked after the divorce. It can happen in 3 situations: divorce, death, and upon the polygamy that happened. All right. So after divorce that happened, these are some of like your rights that you can ask from. But I'm pretty sure you have heard of like, especially for Muslim women, they also have like some sort of like it's called mut'ah. All right, whereby a portion of like present, some gift from the husband, they give it to you for the sake of like as an appreciation
To win you back?
No.
That's a different kind of divorce.
We all wish.
Maybe.
As an appreciation during the marriage that happened. So these are some of like the rights that you must know when you get into divorce.
Okay.
All right, because but I always believe that when I ever advise client, right, the most important thing for them to understand two important things: your children and for yourself.
Yeah.
All right, because you must remember that in any religion, husband must have always this mindset of providing, right? The providing mindset. Okay, if they do not have that, because they have to understand that is their responsibilities.
Yeah.
So even after divorce happened, the responsibilities of caring for the children is still on them, and especially if the kids are staying with the mother. Right? Because they thought
Since when that has ever come true smoothly.
No, the thing is that they thought that the kids are living with the mother is working, why am I paying for anything? That's always like the mindset.
Yes.
But then they must remember that it's always a bigger burden when the kids are staying with the mother.
Yeah, we do a lot of single moms.
Can you take
Yeah.
the father to court if he doesn't?
Definitely. So I always tell my clients that sometimes you don't need to fight to go to court. Or like you don't need like until you find a problem then only you go to
can
court.
discuss
So whenever you got into divorce, make sure you think about your custody. Who gets the custody? All right, not because you're fighting for the custody, but actually for administration purposes. Sometimes when you want to bring your children for overseas trip, all right, you want to change school, you're going to move houses, right? You're going to move schools. They need that custody order. All right, and then you go into the maintenance. That's the most important thing. Sometimes when I got like a lot of like clients actually just go, we just agree. I'm going to take care of like the children, and he's going to pay me 2,000 a month. After 2 months, that 2,000 never happened. I'm sorry, I'm marrying this one new lady, and I have 3 new kids. And he left you with another 3 kids at home.
Yeah.
So always make it into an instrument. Make it into paper. Turn it into your paper. Yeah.
But sometimes, with divorce or in cases of polygamy, the family comes in and they say, never mind lah, just let it go, They pressure you not to,
do anything.
Tuntut you punya, I guess, your rights lah, basically,
We got cases where, like family members just tell you like, this is just for the peace of your mind. You want to live in peace, right? Like, let it go. You don't have to fight for this. But remember, if you don't fight for this, you'll suffer 20, 30 more years for your children.
True.
Because at the end of the day, a lot of like women, when I tell them is that, let's be very frank, that a lot of like women or moms think about their children more than themselves.
Of course.
So at the end of the day, when you get such pressure, it's just on that particular moment. Because they want to make sure that they close the book or file right now. But they didn't think like in 30 years, the children will be impacted. The mother will be impacted. Yeah. So I think when it comes to that, it's very important that women actually understand the impact that could happen if they settle the lease.
For less.
For less.
Or not even wanting to do it.
Exactly.
Okay, like people like me, let's hope it doesn't happen. But it's just going to be the highlight of, you see like bulan Ramadan, semua highlight was divorce. And I'm like, korang ni tak ada benda lain ke nak cerita. But a person like me, hopefully it'll never happen. Wallahu alam, but we just hope that it's not. But it's going to be there. Because it's a public case already. So how do we like, I hope I'll never be able to go through it. But what about all my other celebrity friends or who are always on social media, who are the influencers? What do they do when it comes to that? The peer pressure of all these people, paparazzi, blah, 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 because everything is going to be all out there.
Yeah, and I hate it. Like social media always portrays it that women should not fight for it because don't prolong things and whatnot. You should you should always like. I mean, the pressure of social media is pretty much more than even family members sometimes. But to be honest, I think we women must know what our rights,
Yeah.
what we want. Because at the end of the day, as I said, 30 more years, this all netizen will not be there anymore.
Correct.
All right?
But it's also
you are suffering.
demanding what you want.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times
Yeah.
when a woman want or even seek appropriate, demands, then other people deem you as a woman that's difficult.
Yeah.
Especially in divorce. Memanglah because you're difficult. What?
You making things so difficult. You don't want to agree to whatever I asked for. But when you're asking, I mean, you're giving me peanuts. Like what am I?
Yeah.
But which is the common case right now? I'm not going to say who. She's already gone in once. She's already gone in twice. But the husband doesn't want to let her go. So it makes her look bad because the husband is pleading.
So everybody's
saving the
he's
marriage.
already
Saving the marriage,
pleading
although
to
he's in
say-
polygamy, with no pun intended to anybody. But I've we've come across that. So what does the woman do? Because she just wants to be free, but the husband doesn't want to let her go.
She should just shut off her social media and
wonder if she
focus
can't
on
run
her
away
own
though from
life.
social media because she's also somebody.
Yeah,
she
They
can
will
struggle.
come and
Like
She
sometimes-
has to do what's right for
I mean,
her.
fine.
So
the right
how long
circle.
can the man actually extend that?
If let's say the lawyer is filing for the right application, actually
Yeah.
at the end of it, the women, especially for Muslim, can actually get the divorce. It's just a matter of time.
Time.
It's gonna be a bit longer
Yeah.
because the system is how
Yeah.
it is.
So when you say time, how
How
long
long? Yeah.
is this time that we're
Yeah.
Well, I
looking
got
at?
cases where it drags until about a year just for divorce.
Okay.
But some women, because the system is what it is, right? So we just had to follow. So they had to do it, and they did it. They follow through such system, and that's very important. And I just want to address how it is important for actually women to be educated or understand the process, because with understanding the process of how divorce happen, then makes it them even more determined to go through such. Because they know their rights, because they know what they really want. Then they are more confident in going through such a system.
Well, one thing which you said kind of triggered me as well. Women needs to be educated in their rights, especially when it comes to divorce. And there's so many people giving advice. Maybe they don't know where to seek the right one. Is there perhaps an NGO or it's not every woman have access to lawyers? Where can they go to seek?
Okay, we do have a lot of platforms that any woman can give a call. We have Sisters in Islam. They have Talinisa. You can give a call, and they can actually assist you in giving like the right legal advice. They have like pro bono lawyers helping with them. We have Awam. We have a few other NGOs that actually help with giving such advices. They will give the preliminary advice, and then if let's say you needed to be referred to any lawyers, they will give them. Will give you the list.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
There is information out
such
there, but
avenue.
they just need to look out for.
Yep.
And the most important thing is to educate yourself in this predicament.
And on that note, something I feel as someone with some experience in the whole divorce space,
Be like me.
you should know what assets you have together as a husband and wife, what assets he has, what potential assets he's hiding. Okay, because creeps do that too. And just basically be aware of what your rights are lah, kan? Because I know a lot of times we don't even know how much money is in his account. Or if he has a secret account somewhere, because this happens more common than you think, right?
I was hoping like in the future, right? Like, more women should be, understand the fact that they can be open with their partner. And I hope that even men can understand this, that this conversation happen not because they want to seek for divorce, not because they are looking for you to die, whatever. It's actually just because this conversation must happen. Because at the end of the day, if it doesn't happen today, it can happen tomorrow or next week or whatever.
Is there a way to ask those very difficult questions without feeling without
Guilty.
Without feeling like a gold digger.
Ungrateful.
Yeah.
Macam you
Yeah.
tak sayang I lagi ke?
Oh my
No,
God, that
actually,
is
let
so
me just-
psycho jugalah.
Tapi let me just share my own
Yeah.
experience
Yeah.
lah. Okay, I hope that my husband would watch this. Like, let's just be very. So one day, we had a very nice dinner. He was asking me out for our normal dinner, our monthly
Date
dinner,
night.
date lah,
Date
date
night,
kan. So I said to him like, oh, get ready. I'm gonna ask you some questions. I want to share you something. So he thought that I would be sharing like any story, whatever, the kid story, whatever. Then I couldn't tell him because it's very emotional, at least for me. So, but then I was very clear to him. I said, I am not asking or talking about this because I'm a gold digger. Okay.
Okay.
I understand that, like, what are my priorities. And third, I said that, if you die tomorrow, I can actually work for myself.
Yeah.
But I don't think if we're not prepared, I mean, we don't talk about this and we're not preparing for our children. And then he was like looking at me like, I can't believe you actually talked to me about this. No, but you need to brave yourself. I mean, you need to be brave to actually tell your husband that this is the reality.
Yeah.
That can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we start. We start having like, okay, we see back like, our bank accounts, like, we see our liabilities and whatnot. But if you don't start that question, nobody's gonna talk about it. Especially men.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, perhaps
Men will not start that conversation.
No, actually, my husband is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's open, right?
Yeah.
So we've
I'm
talked
coming
about
from
it
a
so many
negative
times.
experience, so
Yeah.
that's why I'm very skeptical. And
Yeah.
my advice to women,
Yeah.
especially with regards to divorce, death, polygamy, and all this stuff, there's a hint of being very kind of guarded and skeptical about
And that's not
men
wrong
in
as
general.
well.
It's not
Yeah.
wrong. So I've seen so many women kind of fall because of these issues and not knowing their rights and not knowing what is being hidden. So I think no woman should be left wondering what's going to happen to them in the
Right.
event of death, polygamy, or divorce. And in order to do so, you have to arm yourself with knowledge or people who know, like Aini here, and know your rights and claim them.
Yeah, basically you just said what's important for women if I'm understanding this. If you're in a marriage, whether it's happy marriage or whatever kind of marriage, polygamy ke, apa ke, we have to first and foremost check about what sort of assets that we have together.
Yes.
Check about whose name is on the title and deeds.
Correct.
Although it's under my name, but I still need to check.
Yes.
Understand the hibah, the wasiat, the faraid, and how to apply for it.
Yep.
Have clear documentations,
Yes.
wills, whatever else account that we have that is
The
somewhere
grants,
else.
whatever.
Yes, backup plan. It's very important, right? So I've learned a lot.
Yeah,
And
keep it all in one place as well.
So we have to keep the communication open.
Yep.
Yeah.
Correct.
I'm gonna ask him next week.
Kenapa tak tanya lepas ni?
One week.
No, there's a reason.
Gold digger.
After the real birthday date, which I think is a bit more not on my birthday lah, you
Yeah.
know. So at least it's like when we go away on holiday. So it'll be nice. So by the way, sayang,
That's
you know
the
we were
best.
it'll be nicer because we're not pressured in the situation,
Yeah.
and we've already talked about it. But why don't we proceed? Because I know somebody, and we just interviewed her on the show. I think it's just an eye opener. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I need last words on the topic.
I think my best words is that I want more women to understand that these rights are not to fear you, to give you fear, and not to tell to yourself that you're gold digger, whatever terms that is. It's actually to educate you to understand that these are your good rights.
Yeah.
All right, your good rights, not just for yourself, but your children.
And don't let other people come
Dictate,
dictate and
Yeah.
say that, you're being greedy, you're not being, kind enough, or, don't get
let
your
people-
rights.
Yeah.
Educate yourself.
Yeah.
If you're not sure, don't ask your high tea friends.
Never.
Yeah, don't.
Ask your sensible friends.
Ask your sensible friends.
Yeah.
Okay, sensible
normal friends.
Yeah, who have lawyers.
Yeah.
You gotta be strong and
Yes.
you gotta be brave.
Yes,
Know your
es-
rights.
especially when it comes to divorce and you know,
Death.
knowing
Yeah.
what you need to have to protect yourself and your children.
Yeah.
Aini, thank you so much. We've
Thank
learned
you.
a lot.
Thank you so
Thank you
much,
for having
Heidi.
me.
Yeah.